Alrighty, we are back again with another video of the Mastering Bash Scripting series. Alright, in this video we will talk about for loop, and also we will talk about tokens and delims. What's that? Someone now was just thinking about what is tokens and what is delims. So we'll get to that, just no rush. But anyway, first let's talk about for loop. Like any other programming language, you must know how to do for loop. Why? Because for instance, if you have a text file like this one, it has some like data, and you want to loop through every single one of these data, right? How do you do that? So you come here, we can just simply do something like let's first go here to this users next file desktop. Okay, cd desktop. We can just say type names, right? And then what? You can find something. I mean, you can find the name. You can do like name, type names, and then pipe it to find name, right? But this is not what we want. What if you want something in specific? What if you want to do this with every single line? Do something with the name, do something with age, do something with the job. How do you do that? Then you must use a for loop. So here, for loop is like anything else. Use the word for, and then before you do anything, we use the /f. If you come here to the command prompt and use for / and then question mark, you get a bunch of other stuff that you can use with the for loop. Here, you can use the L, variable end, start, step, and end. We will get to that later when you use the ping command, and then do, and then your command. So it's a little bit different. So you used for /L, variable, the variable that you want to use later, and then in, start, where you're starting from, how many you're stepping, and where you want this to end. And then do, and then you do the command, the actual command. But here we are using something different in this video. For /f, and then here options. This is where we're going to use the tokens and the delims. And then your variable here, like this one, and then in, and then file or string or command. So here you notice that the command is actually inside single quotes. Here, single quote, and then the command, and then single quote. This is if you want to loop through a command. Of course, the result of the command, not the actual command. And then do whatever you want with this result. Same thing for a string or file set. All right, let's get started. Okay. So now we have a text file called names, and we want to loop through the content of that file. So we say for /f, and then our variable, we need a letter, but we need to use 2% sign, not 1. If you're using this from the command prompt, like here, you use 1. See here, he is telling you, yeah, here, just 1 and then a variable. But if you're using this in a batch script, I don't want anyone to be confused about this, because if you're using this later and you say, oh, I'm getting an error or the script is not working, probably because you're not using 2, because probably you're using 1. So %, and then whatever the letter you want to use, maybe A or Z, V, doesn't matter. And then space, and then in, then space, and then two brackets, two parentheses, 1 and then 2. Inside those parentheses, we do two single quotes, 1, 2. Inside those two single quotes, you type your command. But in this case, we want to use a text file, so a text file can be specified without any quotes, any single quotes or any double quotes. So just remove the single quotes, type the name of the text file, names.txt, txt. And then now we're telling it we want to do loop, for loop, through the contents of this file. And then after that you do, and then what do you want to do? Do what? Do maybe echo. We want to echo those lines or the content of this file. Echo, and then your variable name. Because remember, when you're looping through the files or the content in this file, everything will be stored, each line will be stored in this a variable. Then of course we want to do something with this variable. We want just to echo it, right? Just display it on the screen. So echo a. That's it. Very simple, straight. Let's just save it. Run the script. See? Name next h3.geek. Okay, that's good. Can we do something else? Maybe, what if we want to just get the second value, like the value of whatever the name and age and job, right? This one here and this one here, this one here. If you want to split them, bash scripting doesn't have anything like splits in Python or, like stuff like shell scripting or Perl. But we do have here tokens and delims. This is what we were talking about in the beginning. So how do you use tokens and delims? After you do the for f, and then you do two double quotes, 1, 2. Inside those double quotes, you say tokens equal. So the token equal is the number. Well, actually, I don't want to confuse you, so let's use the delims first. I'm sorry. So here in the names, let's say that we want to split them, split this from this. We notice here that they have colon between each one of them, right? So we can use this colon as our delimiters. So this is as a delimiter, and this will be token number 1, and this will be token number 2 in each line. This is token number 1, this is token number 2, and the delimiter is colon. If the colon is not there and if we have a space, you can use a space as your delimiter, right? All right, let's use that. So since we want token number 2, we say tokens equal to, right? And delims equal colon, just colon. Save it. Let's run it. See, we got the second value only. This is very useful, especially when you have something like maybe ipconfig, or I'm sorry, ipconfig is in Linux, ipconfig, and you want to get something like the subnet mask or default gateway or IP address or anything like that. How are you going to do that? Because you have a lot of stuff here, dots and colons and spaces, but you want to get those values and loop through them and do something with them, right? So in this case, let's take a practical example. So I'm going to use nbt-stat. You can use this command to get a MAC address of a remote device. In my example, I'm going to use my MacBook to, I'm going to use my Windows virtual box here to get a MAC address of my MacBook. So mbt stat space dash a space and then my IP address 2.3. There you go. MAC address equal, and this is the MAC address. But how I'm going to get from all these stuff here, this garbage data, I just want to get the MAC address. Well, this is how you use the tokens and the limbs, right? All right, let's do it. We come here. This time I'm not using a text file. I'm going to use a command. But before that, if you go back to here, the same D, bt stat a. Sorry, it was 2.3, not 3.2. 2.3. Notice that we want to look for this line. So if you do that and then space and then the pipe, find Mac, the word Mac, right? If we do that here, you will get 2 lines. But if we use MAC address as a word that or a string that we are trying to find, it will give you only this line, and then we can play with this line. We can use the tokens and the limbs on this line to extract the MAC address, right? In this scenario here, what's our delimiter? In the last example here, when we use the names, we had colon, but now we have something else. We have equal sign. Well, no problem. We can use the equal sign as our delimiter, right? Yes, we can. So we come here, we say tokens. If we split this line here by the equal sign, we get 2 parts. The first part is the MAC address and then space here, right? Let's just mark it here, MAC address and then space. The second part will be the space and then the MAC address. I don't care about the space for now, but I need the second part. So we need token number 2 if we're going to use the equal sign as our delimiter. Okay. So tokens, I want number 2. The limbs, I want it to equal to equal sign. So we have double equal sign because the limbs has to equal something, right? So we use the equal sign because we need to assign the value to the limbs. But we are actually using another equal sign here for this delimiter. That's no problem. You just use another equal sign. Here is the actual command. mbt stat -a space IP address 2.3. And then here, if you want to use the pipe command, like this, let's just try it first. Pipe, and then find what? MAC address. MAC address. By the way, with the find, you can have something here, ignore case of characters, like case of characters, like it's not case sensitive. So we can use that. It's very, so you don't have to use capital M and A and C and so on. So we can do /I and then do echo A. Okay, perfect so far. Let's minimize this one. It's executed. See, it's not executing, something wrong. I'll tell you what is wrong, because you can't even see it, right? What is wrong is this pipe. So you need to put this, whatever it is, like inverted, I don't know what's it called. You need to use the sign. It's shift 6 to use it. Shift number 6 to use this sign. This is how you ignore something, or specifically you explicitly using this pipe. because pipe here has a different meaning in this batch scripting. But we want to tell it, no, please just ignore it and use it. Use this pipe as pipe. So we can just save and start the script again. See, we got our MAC address very easily, right? So this is how you use the for loop. Tokens, Delims, it works the same thing for everything else. Like for instance, if I have, let's actually try it to do something else. ipconfig. Here I just, what if I want to get the default gateway? By the way, I haven't done this yet before, so we'll just try it together and troubleshoot it. What if I want to get a default gateway? Well, if I do ipconfig and then find, alright, let's just use the case insensitive /i and then default. Oh, sorry. Since we only have the word default with the default gateway in this line, so you don't need to worry about typing the entire thing. So we don't have to type default gateway. You can just type default. Let's just see. Oh, okay, it's the only line. So now we have a bunch of dots, spaces, and again, colon. Perfect, because the colon is just one in this line, but we can't use dots because there are too many, right? And even if you use dots, you will encounter the dots between each number here in the IP address, and we don't want that. We want the entire IP address, so we can use the colon or maybe space, because you know IP addresses doesn't have any spaces. Let's just try with the colon. So we here change all of this. We type ipconfig and then again find and then default, right? But hold on, I don't know why I closed it. So here, what's our token? Oh, it's pretty obvious because we have only one colon here, right? So everything before the colon will be considered as token number 1. Everything after the colon will be considered token number 2. So we are doing fine. Token number 2, and the Delims is colon. All right. Default spelling is correct. All right, let's try it. Perfect, we got the IP address, you see? Pretty handy, huh? Okay, I think we're done with this video, and next one we will take something else. See you guys.